Alright, it is Thursday, July 30th, and we are in the Santa Fe National Forest. This is where we stayed last night. Campsite wasn't anything to write home about. It was your typical National Forest campsite with pine trees all around, and also landmines everywhere. So we just got settled in. I washed up after yesterday. I mean, completely washed up. It felt great. And now we are back at it. This particular route, this is only about 60 to 70 miles. And I don't expect there to be any problems today, but who knows? I didn't expect there to be a problem yesterday. We're at about 9,000 feet, and already at 9 o'clock, I have to have the windows open in the Jeep. But look at that view. That is, I just love stuff like that. That is amazing. So here along National Forest 70, it is a really pretty route with some amazing views. The problem is, as a driver, it is a one-lane road, twists and turns everywhere. You could easily run off the road. Here's a little cow.
Damn, I didn't see the little ones on the left.
And so you got to look out for things like that, but you want to take in the views, but at the same time you can't, because you've got to pay attention to the road. As a passenger, this would be a great place to drive.
Following me.
Or he won't get out of my way. So one thing that we run into with the cows is they don't like to run to the side. They'd rather run in front of you or alongside of you. They really don't want you to pass because they think that you're chasing them. But there's plenty of space here on the side to go, and they don't sometimes. See? So this will probably go on for a little while. There we go. Hold it. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. He's still running. Look at this. He still runs out in front of me. There we go.
No, that was funny.
So on the trail, we came up to this. We were already in 4x4 territory, but we came up to this incline and we just passed a taco with a camper and some kind of rooftop pop-up, it looked like, on it. He said it was pretty squirrely for the next half an hour at least. His wife laughed and said it was longer than that, but we'll see how it goes. We decided to stop in the shade and air down our tires a little bit. I also had to add more fluid. I'm still having a problem with leakage out of the cap. It's not as bad as when I had the other cap on, but it still leaks when it gets into the 220 territory. So I just keep watching it. I just added more fluid. But so I'm gonna let Manny go up here first. I'll try to take some drone footage of that, and then I will get going myself. So plan on trying to get up there as quick as I can so that if I do overheat, at least maybe I'm in a better area. I've got plenty of water to keep adding, but I hate adding water because the boiling point is a lot lower and it's not good for the radiator, but I think I'm already past that territory. Really think it's something that happened when I hit that culvert, because I was not having any issues whatsoever up until right after that. So it is quite warm. We're at 9,000 feet and it is still toasty up here. I really wish it was like further south in New Mexico where it was a lot cooler at high elevation, but it's what it is. right, so I keep losing fluid out of my radiator cap. The temperature's holding at about 212 to 220, but every time I stop and look, a bunch of fluid's coming out of the cap, even with the one Manny put on. So I've got enough water to get me to the next town, and luckily it's leveled out, as you can see a little bit here. And I told him I'm just going to either in that town or another town have somebody evaluate it. I don't see any leaks, any kinks, or anything like that in any of the tubing. I'm leaning maybe towards my water pump. Maybe the water pump isn't working and pushing fluid through. So I'm just going to have it looked at by a mechanic, have him fix it, and then meet Manny up somewhere else. But as of this point, there's going to be a man down, but I don't want to hold him up. So that's going to be the plan. I know the routes, and we could just communicate at some point when he gets signal, and I can just jump ahead and wait for him at a waypoint. So that's the plan as of now. I just need to get out of here and get into town and on paved road so that I can find a mechanic that can work on this. So as you can see, I am in a hotel room, which is not a good sign. Even though I'm going to get a shower and be able to do my laundry, I would much rather be out on the trail with Manny, but that is not the case. So I am here for the night so that I can go into the mechanic tomorrow and have him look at my heat issue. I debated between whether or not to just fix the water pump or thermostat, replace them both out on the trail somewhere and hope for the best, or to have the mechanic look at it, be able to put it up on a lift, take a look at other things, maybe fix my shock mount, and also give my Jeep a once-over, since I did hit that culvert really, really hard. It feels right. I hear something every now and then it goes away, but I would rather have somebody inspect it and tell me that it looks okay, or hey, did you know about this? So it's first come, first served tomorrow. So I got my hotel room, and since I'm a Diamond member, I get Diamond parking. I actually looked at a satellite image to figure out what room to check in on so that I could look over my vehicle. I always ask at the front desk, ask them, hopefully they'll be honest with me, but have you had any issues with people tampering with cars or vehicles? I know it's hotel policy that they probably don't talk about that, but they're usually pretty honest with me. I've never had a problem so far. Manny would never leave his vehicle at a hotel like I am. If she said they did have a problem, then I would make sure everything's buttoned up. I'd take a lot of the stuff off the roof so that it can't be stolen. But since it's all replaceable stuff up top, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it. So this is what I am doing tonight. I figured I'd make the most out of it, and I'm going to do laundry, take a shower, clean up the Jeep inside, and then also I stopped at an auto parts store, picked up a couple of things I needed there, stopped at Walmart, got a few things there, water, radiator fluid, and things of that nature, because I'm out of radiator fluid. But all day today I stopped, I don't know, at least 6, maybe 7 times to put what ended up being just water in my radiator. And of all the days, today was the day that we spent about at least 40 miles on pretty rough terrain that required a little bit of high clearance, but some 4x4, and the rest of it was just a rocky, slow going mess in the extreme heat. So it was not working well for my Jeep in the heat issue. As soon as I saw it climb to, over 220, I would stop, I would let it vent out the air, and then I would fill it with water, and then go another 10 miles until it did it again. Once we got into a flat area that was something that we could do at least 20, 30 miles an hour on, it would stay cool, but it did not like the high altitude, the rock climbing, and the mess that we were in. So for that reason, I don't want to go any further. I don't want to hold Manny back, so I am going to stay here, try to figure out what's wrong, hopefully get back on the road. All right, I am here in Shama, where I'm going to meet Manny sometime this evening if he makes it this far tonight. If not, I will be meeting him here tomorrow, and I'll be finding somewhere to stay the night. I am done, obviously, with the mechanic, and I drove all the way here without an issue. So, dumb me. I overthought everything, and I just made some really dumb mistakes, which screwed up our day yesterday and our night. So it was nothing more than the radiator cap. I took the Jeep in, told them what I thought it was. They did some tests, took it for a test drive. Everything checked out, put a new radiator cap on, and it was fine. I really didn't want to believe it, but the drive here was a vigorous one through the canyons and steep inclines, doing about 2,500 RPMs at 60 miles per hour with the AC on, and it never really went above 225, and when it did, it didn't stay there long. So everything is working properly, and I knew that the radiator cap that I had on from Manny was the wrong one, but it was letting out less fluid than the one that I had on, which was the right one. I really didn't think that the jolt that I took the other day would screw up my radiator cap. I thought it would screw up the radiator or the water pump or the thermostat or something, but it was the simplest thing. I overthought it, and I screwed myself, and I kind of screwed up on this trip a little bit. So go ahead and leave your comments. I admit it was a dumb mistake. Luckily, it was only a cheap one, and I got my shock mount also fixed. They jerry-rigged something so that I would be able to mount a pin properly. And after all of that, being an out-of-stater at this place, I'll leave some pictures here of Leo's service center or something in Espanola. They were great. The owner was awesome. They didn't overcharge me for anything, being an out-of-stater. They charged me less than an hour to fix the radiator with all the time that they spent driving it and looking at it. And they charged me less than an hour to fix my shock mount, even though they had to weld some stuff together and figure out how they were going to make that work. It is one of those dumbfounded moments that I guess I hope I learned from. But I'm in Shama. I'm going to take a look around here. It seems like a cool little town, actually, and there's some cool shops and things to look at. So I'm going to just walk around here, take a look at the trains over here, and wait for Manny. And if it's tonight, great. If not, I'll find somewhere to go to spend the night, and I will meet him tomorrow. I sent him a text, so whenever he gets in text or cell service area, he'll get my text to know that I'm here. So anyway, that's that, and now I'm going to go take a look around. It is almost 8:30, and I ended up meeting Manny at Cumbre Pass, which is about 10,000 feet. I think we're just below that, and it is amazing. So this is our view tonight, but it definitely got a little bit nippy through the pass. It has cooled down a lot from what I was experiencing this morning, and you need a jacket and pants basically. It is going to be pretty chilly tomorrow. But that's okay. I sleep better in the cold, and I'd rather have cold than hot. So we have put the band back together. We haven't even talked yet. I just met up with them at a trailhead and came right here so that we could find a spot that we liked, and today we lucked out. So we are going to get something to eat, chat it up for a while, and then talk about tomorrow, and we will get back on the road.